Vlogmas, day 17. Story time, and I wanted to talk to something that's near and dear to my heart. Me and RJ's relationship date back all the way to 2009. And I've been wanting to tell this story for a long time now because of the relevancy of how Disneyland has became a part of my life. Growing up in the Bay Area, I defined going to Disneyland as 1, very expensive, 2, something you had to save up for, and 3, it was just a crazy amount of expensiveness. You had to think about the lodging, the parking, the admission, and to me, that's what it meant to go to Disneyland, was basically to save up for it and then eventually plan for it. Nothing casual. It always had to be planned. I've only visited Disneyland maybe a handful of times before 2009, before I had met RJ. I probably could say maybe less than 10 times. There's probably a few times when I was a little kid that I don't really remember, which was great to look at vintage photos of me, myself, and my dad or my mom. And then it wasn't until 2009. It wasn't until I had met RJ a month before my 24th birthday. I had already met her that previous month for my childhood friend Heidi in August, and then I came back that following September. This was more of like an intimate time of when we hung out. We got to know each other. We had basically like a first date, grab coffee, grab food. It wasn't until the moment she brought up of let's go to Disneyland, because Disneyland was literally just down the street. And I looked at her super astonished, super dumbfounded. I didn't know what to say. My first response was, I don't have any money. And I think at that moment, it was just, I was kind of embarrassed because, I thought that she said it in a way where so casual to her, but to me, it wasn't so casual. In my mind, I was thinking we gotta pay hella money for this kind of stuff and blah, blah, blah. And at the time, I was just okay, let's see where this goes. So down the line, she was like, oh no, my mom will get us in. And that's when I found out her mom had worked for Disney. I thought that was probably the coolest thing, and we can get in for free. And so that was a moment of true excitement. I'm going to Disneyland for free. It's because of RJ's mom, this girl's mom at the time. I was like, okay. And so we headed towards Disneyland, and we met up with Kelsey and her then boyfriend at the time, Jason. And I'd say a lot of those times were pretty iconic to us. It was our first day together. I think we unloaded on tons of photos. It was during around Halloween time, Disneyland sets up Halloween decorations around before October. We saw a lot of the Halloween decorations and the pumpkin photos are what we did every year then after. But the pumpkin photo and then the California Adventure photo have been some of the most early iconic definitive moments in our relationship. Those photos, they stir up some stuff back in the day, in the earlier times, oh my god, they're hanging out, whatever. So I thought that was have those recognized. We got into Disneyland, and the first thing I could remember was just oh my god, I'm so excited, this is crazy. And from that whole time we spent there, it was pretty much history. From the rest of the days since then, it just became pure history from there. Since we were long distance for the first 5 years, it was one of those places where we always went. It was every time I visited, we had to go there and just make time, whether it was a couple hours or just 1 hour. We went to Disneyland, got in, spent some time there. It was a great place. I grew very fond of the Disney culture. The Disney culture itself was very intriguing. I had to know everything about Disneyland. I engulfed it. I embodied it. It was such a good feeling to be able to have those moments in time because I never grew up with it. And to have that brought to me from a lifestyle of RJ's life, and for me to become a part of it, it just became truly one of those magical things. All the time we spent gathering at the parks, all the times we spent there gathering history, every moment was always going to be the memories that we were writing to our story.
Just wrapping up a Jaws clamp all day.
I don't think she realizes it. That's why it's such a bad spot. You need to stand in front of it.
We're waiting for VJ and Cheryl.
And maybe Eli.
First Disneyland trip of the year. And you have to go through security first before you park. Crazy. Our bikes. The castle. This girl right here. And we maybe, possibly. Yeah, which was, we weren't even together yet.
Oh, so you're filming.
Shout out to the cast member.
My phone's not working.
Alright. The best part about transitioning from the Bay Area to Southern California was just the magic of what this place brought us together. It was a place for me and her, a place for our relationship to grow, our place where our friends and family could get together, where we could escape the reality of the outside world. It was a place to give us the premise of our story, our history. I just wanted to take this time to say thank you, Disneyland, for everything. I hope to see you again one day when that time comes. That's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks for watching.